Sorry, to Gary. Why a second campus for Braemar College?
So just hit the...
I'll just flip it up.
Nice firm touch.
Nice firm touch. Good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making yourself available tonight, and on behalf of the college I'd like to welcome you here to this important occasion. We're about 7 years in the making to get to this particular point, and there's some faces around the room here who will recognise the first board meeting where I was mooted by the previous principal, Mr. Philip Kutzner, about actually having a second campus. So I'm pleased that we're at a stage now where we can actually have a bit of a story to tell and start to engage in the community in what sort of vision and picture do we have for expanded facilities for the Braemar College and also for the Massillon Ranges community. I just want to share with you a few things about why we have this particular campus for the college. We are at maximum capacity here on this site. We're on the side of a mountain, for those of us who know, and 780 students is our current enrolment here. And we have no further capacity to grow on the site. In fact, it's under stress. And those who live and work on this site on a day-to-day basis can see that. The very famous croquet lawn we have out front here is not a picture of lush green as it was even a few years ago. Severe drought is one thing, but having 780 students on this site means that we don't have a lot of space for the kids to exercise here. Classrooms are really tight. We don't have what I would call too many fellow classrooms where they can get a rest and be rejuvenated. Every piece of this site is utilised. We also have very few flat pieces of land here where we can actually do any expansion on here. So that's caused us to really have to look outside this site for an alternative facility where we can put some additional facilities for the general population of students, but also to look to expand the offering that we can provide as a college. As the slide says here, 61% of the students live within 15 minutes to this particular college site here. We draw our students from all over the Massillon Ranges Shire, going down and into the Hume Shire with a big population of students that get bussed up from Sunbury. But we have catchments stretching across the whole municipality here. We've done a range of studies over the years, and Urbis did one for us in April of this year that looked at really what was happening to the demographics of the area, ageing population, but also we're one of the fastest growing municipalities in the state. I think the Surf Coast and down at Casey are probably the only two shires who are growing in faster than what we are up here. So not only is the existing population ageing, as we all are a little bit, just a little bit, but there's a lot of new people coming into this area who want to share in the lifestyle and experience we live out here. So we have to be cognizant about those sorts of things. Also, I think there's a bit of a protective strategy for this college. We want to have a college that's here in 100 years' time. I went to Chadstone High School, which was next to the shopping centre, and we had a reunion probably a couple of years ago at the what's called the Malvern Valley Golf Club now. It used to be called East Malvern Golf Course when I was a little taker. And we had a reunion, and our school doesn't exist. And looking around the people I was in that gathering with, we knew that when we go on, there isn't any future. There isn't anything of our school. It's only what we carry within our hearts. And I thought in that moment, I don't want this to happen for our school up here. We've got to have a school that we can provide for generations to come, for all students and families to enjoy. And so we have a responsibility to do some things that are really going to insulate the school from changes. And one of them is really to expand the offering, that we have a feeder system of students coming through at primary level, down to prep, so that families can come in, be enrolled, get into the Braemar way of doing things, and know that with some certainty that there's a place for them when they move into the senior school sector. So there's some of the critical issues that sat behind why we need a second campus. Just relax. Sorry. Just a couple of little pictures to show you here. Just to show you some of the research that's gone behind this decision-making process. This is just showing a map of the catchment area where we draw our students from, going down to Sunbury, and it highlights in one colour scheme, which is hard to see, but the little red dots indicate where the current enrolments of 5 and 6s come from, and the years 7 to 12 are in blue. It's quite scattered, but there's quite a strong population around Wood End, but it's not meant to be just, this is for all the students that we draw across the whole Macedon Ranges. But trying to pick a locale was pretty important as to where do we pick a second campus site that's in reasonable commuting distance for all the families. A lot of the students, all our students come by bus pretty well, very few come by car, but we wanted to make sure that we had some proximity perhaps to in the future for public transport, so that was one of the considerations. It was also its proximity to this particular campus was an important one as well. Now, moving it along. Yes, working beautifully. All right, slate selection. Now I'm stuck here, Russell. We're going to scroll across.
Just use the blue arrow.
Oh, yeah, just All right, so about 7 years ago we started on this journey. We looked over many years, we've looked at over 40 sites and we investigated some very, very, very closely. And there was all sorts of things around what was available, what was on the market, what Vic Road's going to do with it. Now some of this dates back to the freeway as well. What was going to happen on that side of town, lots and lots of things that were part of the consideration. We settled on the current site that we have here for a number of reasons. Its proximity to the Wood End Township is quite attractive to us. It allows folks who want to send their students there to public transport. The bus network will still work pretty closely, but also there's some walking distance opportunities for people who might be living in the township to walk their kids to school is an important consideration. Its proximity to this site was important in terms of sharing the staff. You can't have them, we couldn't really have a site down in Sunbury because we want to be able to have staff that can operate on that campus as well as this campus, so that was an important consideration, the administrative systems. We also wanted facilities that were easy commuting distance for, on the sporting side, the sort of facilities and other educational offerings that a second campus could offer. That needed to be close to this site because it wasn't just going to be for primary schools, it's going to be a whole school facility. So a range of considerations came into play. We also wanted to have some natural assets, as it said there, the beauty, the ecological potential, because we wanted this to be an opportunity for students to learn about environment considerations, sustainability, through their educational experiences. To see the water tanks, to see the arc of the sun, where things are going to fall, the wind, what happens in the thing, and incorporate that into the curriculum process. So having those sorts of kinesthetic experiences for the students and the staff to use, again, was an important consideration, given where we live out here. I'm a 25-year resident out here. I'm not a local. My children aren't because they're born out here. I'm still a visitor after 25 years. But that's an important consideration as to why we chose that site. Finally, a little one on the context. This is just showing the site and its proximity to the township. It's relatively close to the golf course. It's on the other side of the golf course hill. It's on the old Corridor Highway, set back a couple of 100 metres from the main road there. So you can see where that is relative to Honeysuckle Lane and Montgomery's Lane. We'll talk about and we'll show the diagrams about access points and those sorts of things for you today, but it shows you its possible commuting distance down to the centre of Wood End is not too far. To come across to this campus here, you go at the Romsey Road near the Ventic. So if you know where the Ventic is at the start of the Avenue of Honour, that's the nearest entry point. So the buses potentially could go either straight from picking up the students from home in their normal collection points, go straight to this second campus, drop off the primary kids or whatever other age groups are populating up there, and then continue up to the mountain here and drop the students off here on our marvellous new bus turning circle here. Or it could be the other way around. They start here and pick them up there. So there's a range of possibilities that it opens up to. But it's an easy commute. It's about 5 minutes from here to that second campus site. So that's a bit of the context. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Moritz now, who's going to talk to you a little bit about some of the important studies that have been part of this process for getting approval through the council and the state government approval process to get this site reclassified for a school. Clifford?